You see these? These are just itching to stick him in jail, that Mr. Criminal guy.
Ah, 70s San Francisco. The #1 hub of hippies, prostitution, and doing lines of coke in a hotel room while staying alive lulls you into a drug-induced stupor. Sounds like the perfect setting for a kid's cartoon, right? Well, leave it to a French studio to create Funky Cops, an animated series that aired on 4Kids TV with this stylish 70s setting at the forefront of the show's art direction, complete with all the horrendous fashion one might expect.
Yeah, baby!
I only remember watching this show a couple times growing up, and I always thought it was kind of bizarre. It never really grabbed me or had much of a lasting impact on my childhood, which might explain why it was canceled, but who knows, maybe my tastes have changed and Funky Cops is actually some sort of Tarantino-esque masterpiece. Could Funky Cops be the Pulp Fiction of cartoons, a timeless gem with crisscrossing narratives, sharp witty dialogue, and memorable characters? Or would it just be another example of French cartoon weirdness that was rightfully canceled? Let's find out. Grab your bell bottoms and your favorite disco shoes. It's time to get funky.
Two funky cops and we're getting down.
It's 1973 and crime in San Fran is rampant. Since everyone in the city just wants to party and do some sleazy shit, the public perception of cops is also not so positive. In order to remedy this, the police captain, Captain Dobbs, decides the best course of action to take is to hire a news crew to follow the force's two hippest dudes around and document their daily patrols, in the hopes of convincing people that cops be cool. Enter our two funky heroes, Dick Kowalski and Ace Anderson, aka Jules and Vincent. Fun fact, this show serves as a prequel of sorts to Jimmy Neutron, since Dick here is actually Jimmy's dad before he settled down and had kids. Back in the day, I kinda used to hate the character designs for this show, since their proportions are freakishly over the top and illogical as all hell. Like, Ace looks like he ate the vegetable equivalent of a gusher that turned his head into a giant piece of broccoli instead of some fruit. And I'm pretty sure Dick is a werewolf, but I don't know, their outward appearance has definitely grown on me. I actually kinda dig them now. Anyways, Dobbs sends the guys out on a mission to investigate some suspicious activity down at the city docks, and to check in on an export company's bills of lading.
They're what? The bills of lading. They're what?
The bills of lading.
With all due respect, Captain, don't you have something that doesn't make us look like boring old pencil pushers in front of, you know, the lady?
Joined by journalist Ping Lee and her trusty cameraman, the duo are determined to crack the case and look groovy in the process. The presence of Ping and her Dr. Quest sidekick add this whole mockumentary vibe to the show, which is something you don't really see too often, especially in cartoons. It leads to some more creative, stylish shots, which this show definitely has in spades. After a quick investigation, the two determine that everything is fine and dandy, just your average pistachio warehouse run by a friendly Asian man, completely missing the fact that the warehouse is actually a front for the Chinese car-thieving crime lord Wang Bang. And yes, that is his actual name, and yes, I kinda feel racist just watching this. You see, Wang Bang and his gang of boggarts plan on stealing all the cars in San Fran, and then shipping them off to China to sell for mad moolah. But of course, Ace and Dick are just a couple of airheads and are Audi 5000 before doing a complete sweep of the place. This is because they really only have one thing on their mind at all times.
Give me a D.
Give me an I.
Give me a S.
Give me a C.
Give me a
So after working the beat, now it's time for them to work the beat. And what better way to celebrate than busting a move at the local Boogie Palace? Every episode has one of these disco montage sequences that seem kinda shoehorned into the plot of each episode, but they're definitely a welcome addition faux show. They're well animated for the time and well choreographed as well, utilizing both 3D and 2D animation styles, and these scenes capture the tropes of 70s disco culture, complete with original songs that set the mood perfectly, songs created by real DJs that know how to lay down some sexy riffs that'll have even the grumpiest of curmudgeons tapping their foot to the beat. Like a lonely tissue, there are plenty of shows out there that could just use a little boogie in it. The two strut their stuff, and let me just say, damn, these cats can dance. And then they head to the bar for some much needed refreshments. And this show actually teaches you how to make the drink of the day. I really hope some kid out there attempted to make one of these for their parents. I'm sure they would have really appreciated the gesture. Their bartender friend gives the two party animals the skinny on the strange carjackings that have been taking place in the city, and Ace is all, like, that's bogue, man. And this dude's all, nah man, I ain't jiving, that's the lowdown. Sorry, I'm sure you can tell I'm having way too much fun with all this 70s lingo. I'll try to dial it back a bit. Worried about the safety of their own car, the two go out to check on their Firebird, but while out on the lot, Ace and Dick notice a foxy chick who seems to be in distress.
I'm just trying to get into my car, and I just can't seem to find my key.
Dick, thinking with his mind, decides to jump in and help out, though he ends up doing all the hard work of hot wiring this car for this girl, as he's completely aware that she's actually one of Wang Bang's car thieves.
This is what's known as hot wiring the car.
And they teach you this at the police academy?
No.
So yeah, Dick inadvertently helps this unassuming redhead and her friends get away with a mass carjacking, but luckily Ace is on the case.
This looks big time.
Time to spring into action. Our car!
Since their car was also stolen, the two borrow Ping's news van and engage in a high-speed chase down the rolling hills of San Fran to some silky smooth opera music and a scene that feels right at home in any number of 70s buddy cop movies. Unfortunately, this lollipop-sucking sucker makes his escape, meaning the guys are 0 for 2, and now the entire city is completely devoid of cars of any kind, including Ace's beloved Firebird, so the pair isn't feeling too groovy right about now. This next scene here actually got a pretty good laugh out of me the first time I watched it, since we get to see a lot of the citizens just trying to get around town on bikes, horses, even a pair of roller skates. This show has quite a few instances of this type of background humor, and I totally appreciate the attention to little details like this. After moping around for a bit, the two happen upon the redhead from the night before, and another epic chase ensues, only this time it's through a back alley full of burnouts and discarded needles.
Pull over! Pull over!
You'd think that since our heroes are 95% legs, they'd have no problem keeping up with the thief, but she gets away yet again, though she does happen to leave behind an important piece of evidence. Damn, don't you just hate it when your pistachios won't stay in the pockets of your super tight bell-bottom jeans? Realizing they've been tricked for the 70th time, Ace and Dick head back to the warehouse from earlier and discover that Wang Bang's plan is in full swing, and that they need to act with the speed of a coked-up boogie champion if they want to stop his gang of criminals. Things don't go quite exactly as planned, though. Ace and the news crew accidentally bump into each other and end up preparing to sleep with the fishes. There is an upside to this, though. While most of the goons are preoccupied with filling up barrels full of concrete, Dick is able to snoop around the warehouse and locate the duo's iconic Firebird. But in his excitement, he ends up alerting one of Wang Bang's guards and decides that this is a perfect time to put his martial arts skills to the test.
Martial arts. It's the art of kicking and punching and making it look good at the same time. For example, the kick.
Even though he gets tossed around like a ragdoll, I guess this fight is about as destructive as any action scene from Man of Steel, because the whole building just collapses, exposing all the criminal activity to a nearby news helicopter, and I guess all the criminals just retreat? I don't really know. The show doesn't really explain if they got arrested or what. All the carjackers just kinda aren't there anymore. Anyways, the two cops are commended for a job well done, and Captain Dobbs is excited to see the news report with all the footage Ping captured during her time following Dick and Ace around, but quickly becomes infuriated when he realizes how idiotic the two are.
Ace! Dick! Get back here!
And that concludes the pilot of Funky Cops. And I have to say, I enjoyed this show way more than I thought, and I even ended up watching a few more episodes just because it was that amusing. It's basically if you put Mod Squad and Starsky and Hutch in a blender, sprinkled in a few of Austin Powers' chest hairs and John Travolta's white suit from Saturday Night Fever, and then served it on a plate made out of GTA Vice City's game disc. This show is stylish as hell, from its blocky, oddly shaped character designs to the show's use of transitions and other humorous cut-ins that happen from time to time. It's truly a love letter to 70s culture, and the creator's appreciation for the decade's unique looks and sounds shines through in the show's art direction, right down to the grooving tunes and the dated lingo. A majority of the plot lines aren't exactly deep in the storytelling department, and the supposed twists involved with the cases are pretty predictable to anyone who's ever watched any movie ever, but Funky Cops has some genuinely fun moments that made me laugh, plenty of cool-a-rooney action set pieces, a slew of references to pop culture, and of course, can't forget about those glorious dancing segments. And I'll say it again, this show is way funnier than I thought, though a lot of it is this strange sort of dumb humor like puns and characters just acting stupid for the sake of comedy, but that's my type of humor, I guess.
I could arrest you all. I've got concrete evidence.
So if you like buddy cop movies, you'll probably enjoy this show, as it's basically a parody of the genre. I have to admit, this show is quite the surprise, considering my only exposure to it growing up had me thinking it was just this stupid waste of time. I'm honestly glad I went back to revisit it, because I would have gone my whole life thinking Funky Cops was about as stupid as this outfit here. All in all, this show is funkin' tight. If you guys have any memories or thoughts about this show, please feel free to share those in the comments below. Love to hear from you down there. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this, you dig? Catch you cats on the flip side.